So, good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed about work, energy, impulse, momentum, all these concepts. In our syllabus, you just need to find out, you just need to study about the concepts only regarding work, energy, etc. So, now we'll move to rectilinear motion that we have already studied. The rectilinear motion is nothing but is the motion of particle in a straight line. That sorts of motion we have already studied, that the motion of a lift, everything. All these things comes under motion of connected bodies, all this comes under rectilinear motion. But we were dealing with the forces. I mean the kinetics part we were dealing with rectilinear motion up to now. Now already you are aware of the kinematic section of rectilinear motion. That means the acceleration velocity part you are familiarized in your +1 physics. So once again we'll just see what all things can be asked for rectilinear motion problems in kinematics. So you will be knowing the basic equations of motion is S is equal to ut plus half at square, v square is equal to u square plus 2as, and v is equal to u plus at. With these basic equations we will solve problems. Okay, so first problem is driver of a car traveling at 72 km per hour sees a light 300 meter ahead of him turning red. The traffic light is timed to red for 20 seconds before it turns green. If driver wants to pass the traffic light without stoppage, determine a required uniform acceleration and speed in which driver crosses the light. So here a driver is driving at 72 km per hour. That means the initial velocity is 72 km per hour. And he found that the signal is getting to red within 20 seconds. So he's going to change his velocity. Okay, so he has to travel 300 meter to reach this light signal. Okay, so at what acceleration should he move such that he correctly passes this in 20 seconds, and in what velocity? Okay, so distance is given as 300 meter, time is 20 seconds. Since this is given as 72 km per hour, you need to change it into meter per second, 1000 by 3600, right? Now S is equal to ut plus half at square. 300 is the distance, initial velocity you know, final time you know, acceleration you don't know, but time you know. So from that you got acceleration as minus 0.5 meter per second square. That means here it's not an acceleration, this is a retardation or deceleration. So he is reducing his speed. From that concept you can know that he'll be reducing his speed from 72 km per hour. So now we'll see what is its velocity. V is equal to u plus at, v is equal to 20 minus 0.5 into 20, v is equal to 10 meter per second. So with 10 meter per second he can attain 300 meter in 20 seconds. Okay, simple problem. Now next is an interesting problem. A stone is dropped into well, is heard means he heard that, right? Heard to strike water after 4 seconds. Find depth of the well if velocity of sound is 350 meter per second. So here velocity of sound is given and time is 4 seconds. We need to find out the distance traveled by the stone. So for that we'll assume let t1 be the time taken for stone to reach water. At t1 time this reaches the water, and for t2 time taken for sound to reach surface of the well. Okay, so if you add both things only you will get 4 second. It is heard to strike water. So this will be T1 plus T2 will be is equal to T4 second. So since it is given, it is heard to strike water. So the sound should also go, and at the same time the time taken for stone to reach water. Okay. Now initial velocity is 0. A is equal to, since this is acting downwards without any forces, the force of gravity comes to play. So A is plus 9.8 meter per second, because gravity downwards is always taken as positive. Substitute in this equation, S is equal to ut plus half at square. U is 0, so this term cancels. Half into 9.8 into t1 square. You will get, this is just t1 square. Okay, motion, right? And also distance is equal to sound into t2. Okay, t is equal to t1 plus t2 is equal to 4 second. If you solve these three equations, you have t1, t2, and a relation between t1 and t2. Okay, if you solve these three equations, you will get t1 is equal to 3.79 second, and from there this equation you will get distance also. Okay, and these are the two simple problems. Okay, now we'll see what do you mean by curvilinear motion. Since the rectilinear motion is a motion of particle in a straight line, here curvilinear motion is a motion of particle in a curve. Okay, so now here the object moves with respect to a point in a curve. Okay, that point is 0, and the radius which it makes is r. The theta which it makes is the angle of inclination. Omega is its angular velocity. Okay, now you have the terms. This is very important. If you don't know, please write it down. The displacement in curvilinear motion is represented as theta. That means angular displacement. This is angular initial velocity, angular final velocity, angular acceleration, and relation angular velocity is d theta by dt, where velocity is displacement by time. Here it's angular displacement by time taken. Similarly, this is angular velocity by time taken is angular acceleration. Okay, now the main, see, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Here this is velocity, here it is angular velocity. Okay, this is initial angular velocity plus angular acceleration. Instead of s, you need to give theta, u you need to give omega naught, v you need to give omega. The same things you need to apply here. Okay, now how will you relate curvilinear and rectilinear? That is this. S is equal to r theta, v is equal to r omega, a is equal to r alpha, omega is equal to 2 pi n by 6g. Omega can also be, if the question is given in terms of number of revolutions, you can convert it into omega, which is given in radian per second. Okay, now for curved path, if you see a curved path, the velocity always acts. If you are finding velocity at this point, you need to draw a tangent to this point. Okay, if you are finding velocity at this point, you need to draw a tangent at this point. This means that there is some velocity moving in x direction and some in towards its radius, that means negative y direction. This resultant of this will be the velocity. Okay, clear? Okay, so radial velocity will act along this direction and tangential velocity will act along this direction. So radial acceleration is given as an and tangential acceleration is given as at. Okay, Now you can see AT means this is of rectilinear motion. This goes straight, right? So in case of AT, you can give dv by dt. Okay, but AN is not, it's towards the center, so it's in vertical direction, right? So what happens, this will have a centripetal action. That means AN is mv square by r. So here you can recall, since we have forces in x and y direction, forces in, according to Newton's second law, we can write that, or D'Alembert's principle, Fx is equal to max and Fy equal to may. Okay, so there are some notes that has to be written. So for curvilinear motion, velocity is vector tangential to path at any instant. That I have already told that if you have a curve, the velocity at this point will be the tangential, will be a tangent drawn to this curve. The total acceleration of a particle will be the vector sum of AT plus AN. That means AT is in this direction, AN this direction, resultant will be in this direction. That means A is equal to AT square plus AN square. Okay, so this is the introduction for curvilinear motion. We'll do problems relating to this in our next class tomorrow. Okay, if you have any doubts, please comment or WhatsApp me. Thank you.